Today's October 25th. Today's quote is entitled, "Humility is Power." This is an important quote because many people say, well, if I'm humble, I'll be taken advantage of. So humility is seen as a weakness, which allows people to push you around. So humility is power. It is. And we're going to explain why. Arjuna won the battle because he was humble. Wow, Arjuna's pretty powerful. Like maybe the most powerful Kshatriya of his day or of ever. Was Arjuna humble? No, in the beginning of the Gita he wasn't humble. And because he wasn't humble, he couldn't fight the battle because humble means Krishna's telling him to do something, he's not doing it. Now, from an external perspective, Arjuna looked humble. Why did he look humble? Because he said, I'm not going to fight the battle. Humility. I'm not going to kill anybody. Humility. Let them kill me. Humility. I'll just be a beggar. I don't need a kingdom. Humility. It all looks like humility. Externally, materially, you could say it was humility. But from the spiritual perspective, it couldn't be humility because he was disobeying Krishna's order. And if we disobey Krishna's order, where's the question of humility? Humility means to follow higher instruction. So, when Arjuna put his bow down, that was pride. When Arjuna picked his bow up to fight, which looked like pride, that was humility. Puts his bow down, looks like humility, it's pride. Takes his bow up to fight, looks like pride, it's humility, because he's following Krishna's instruction. Was Srila Prabhupada humble? Of course he was. Was Srila Prabhupada powerful? Of course he was. What does humility mean? When people say, if I'm humble, I'll be walked over. If I'm humble, I'll be powerless. They're not understanding what humility means. Prabhupada was humble because he followed Krishna's instructions. Prabhupada was humble because he allowed Krishna to empower him. Prabhupada was humble because he didn't have false ego. These are all signs of power. In fact, it is so easy to be arrogant. Anybody can be proud. Anybody, and everybody is. So pride is not, people who are proud could not do what Prabhupada did. What Prabhupada did came from his humility to the order of his guru and total dependence on Krishna. The Krishna, I am nothing, I can do nothing, your mercy is everything. Then Prabhupada became empowered. So therefore we say, humility is power because humility allows the power of God to work through you. And as you remain humble, he can use you, and so that humble person becomes the most powerful. And that humble person, Srila Prabhupada, spreads Krishna consciousness all over the world, and no one in history was ever able to do that. Nobody. It could only happen with intense humility. And any devotee that is successful in preaching Krishna consciousness cannot achieve success and maintain it without humility. Because if we become proud, Krishna will push us out. He doesn't want proud devotees. He cannot utilize proud devotees. So don't think pride is power. Pride is rajagun. And a lot of times we misunderstand rajagun to be power and sattvagun to be a weakness. That's the byproduct of social conditioning in a materialistic culture. Because in a materialistic culture, yes, the person who is in the mode of passion, he knocks everyone over and he gets to the top and he runs the game. But his game is not going to last because things in passion don't last. But the thing that's going to last is sattva, something in goodness. A person who rises to power because they're sattvic will stay in power. A person who rises to power because they're rajasic will not stay in power. You can't maintain a position like that in rajagun. It doesn't work. Nobody can work with you. No one will like you. Your power comes from forcing people. It doesn't come from inspiring people. It doesn't come from setting an example. So people like people who are humble. If you want to engage people and inspire people, one of the best ways is that you have a relationship and they like you. They like working with you. They like hearing from you. People like hearing from people who are humble, people who are real. People will get inspired from people who are humble. So humility doesn't mean you're a pushover. Humility doesn't mean you don't say anything, you go back to the back of the line and put your head down. Prabhupada was very bold. but he always remembered that he was a servant of Krishna, and it wasn't he who was doing it, it was Krishna. That's his humility. So when we define humility in those terms, then you can understand humility as power. And if you want to achieve anything great in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will not let you achieve it and sustain it unless you're humble. So humility will be your greatest asset and your greatest source of power.